This week is week 14 and it's the last week of classes. I'm so pumped and I'm so excited because I graduate in 1 week. So that's super exciting. This week we learned about Thomas Nagel's The Absurd. And this was really interesting to me because it kind of goes off of what we learned about last week. Where last week we learned what the difference between possessing something and owning it is. So this made me have a clear understanding of last week's topic by learning about this week's topic. So part 1 is to explain why Nagel argues human lives are unavoidably absurd, but the lives of non-human animals are not absurd. So he puts it this way, that a mayfly's life is not absurd. A mayfly is super tiny, very small. All mayflies do is go out and breed and die. They don't know that they're going to die, but they live their life in a non-stressful way by just going and doing what they're supposed to do in life. And so for humans, our life is absurd because we know that we're going to die, but we go out and stress about small things. Anyway, things that aren't going to matter in the long run. So we worry and fret over silly stuff. And the seriousness is absurdity. So how serious we are in life is absurd, according to Nagel. So that's the difference between the absurdity on humans and non-humans. Explain at least 2 ways people attempt to avoid this absurdity and why Nagel argues their attempts ultimately fail. So one way that people try to avoid this absurdity is by trying to own more. Own more, buy more, and pretty much buying more will make them less stressed. But that ultimately fails in the long run just because you buy more. Buying things don't make you happy or less stressed. That's one way. Another way is to have something completely fine that works for you and in great condition, such as a car, but going out and buying a whole new brand new car, having another car payment, which will make you more stressed out if it's higher, especially. So that's why humans' attempts to avoid this absurdity ultimately fail, according to Nagel. So for part 3, engaging in what you've written in paragraphs 1 and 2, explain whether Nagel is correct that human lives are indeed unavoidably absurd in the way he suggests. So I don't necessarily agree with him that life is absurd, but the way Nagel explains it does make sense that people keep wanting more and wanting more and wanting more, but that's just going to make them stressed in the long run. That's not going to eliminate the want for more or the stress level in life is what I should say. It's not going to eliminate that. So the way he explains it, I would say, is correct in the way he suggests, but I don't agree that our life is absurd. I still believe that each person has purpose in that, but going on to part 4, going off of what I stated in part 3, it says independent on how you've argued above. Mine kind of goes off of it, of how I explained it, people having a purpose. I agree with Professor Deaton in what he said. He states that you should just go live your life. There's no problem to be solved. Do not be over dramatic. And we do not need to take things too seriously. We need to take things with a grain of salt. And that's exactly how Professor Deaton explained it in his closing argument, in his notes and in his lecture. And I totally agree with him on that. We should take things with a grain of salt. Live life day by day. Don't be too stressed out. Because in the end, it's not going to be a huge deal when we know that we're going to die. We need to live our life to the fullest and not take things too seriously or be too over dramatic with things. So this week was a great week. I enjoyed this class so much. I think it helped me overall be a better speaker in general. It's helped me within my job be a better speaker. I've absolutely enjoyed this class. Thank you so much.